to a pub for something to eat, and online it said they had a doggy menu, so pups are going to get their food as well. This is the pub we're going to, and this is the view. Off we go, pups, for our food. Guys, we're in the restaurant now. This is the like traditional side of what you can get, and then on the back they've got vegan menu, but it does say like mozzarella and stuff. I'll have to double check that like this is vegan, because a lot of the stuff on here wouldn't read to be vegan. But look, dog's menu. So the pups are going to get chicken breast and that one to share and a dessert. So cute. Okay guys, so I got the tomato soup, some bread buns, and Sean went for scallops. Bit of an odd choice for Sean, but looks good. We'll do the taste test. Oh, look at the little lemon. It's been like good. This is the pups' food. We're just gonna mix it up so they've got a bit of both each. We've got carrot fries and a burger, like mince, and then have chicken and veg. I'm just gonna give them half and half each. This is so cute. The pups have a home cooked diet anyway, so this is great for them. I love it. So cute. Pups are enjoying their dinner. We're holding it, guys, because they have a little stand at home because they've got long necks. Oh, Henry likes that. So I've got the tart and Sean has got trout. Bit of a different thing, but I thought, well, I always get the burger, so I'm not going to get the vegan burger. So this looks good. We are set up at the number 3 campsite. There's a castle there, which when we'll go for tea tonight I'll show you, because the restaurant's near the castle. The pups have just got a treat, so they're set up in their little area. Henry's getting very excited about that treat. That's good, pups. And then there is the van set up, and Shawnee. But this is our current setup. I really like this campsite. It's really big. It looks like there's a lot of place to walk. We actually only here one night though, and then our holiday's over. But yeah, this is our current camp. We like it a lot. Hi guys, so we are going to do our little van life summary of if it's for us, if it's not for us, would we have a van again, and just basically talk through our full experience on our first van life week. It was something that we had maybe talked about online before, but something we'd wanted to do personally for a very long time. We'd always wanted a van, and we'd always wanted to go away in a van to experience the van life and all of that. That's how hiring this van came about and why we decided to hire the van. Now this is a Ford Transit van, which isn't exactly the van we kind of dream of owning. We want a VW transporter. He knows the technical terms. So this is a lot bigger than a VW transporter, and it is kind of more luxury because it has a shower, and you know that's not necessarily something that you'd have in a VW, but it also has a king size bed and a double bed in this one, which wouldn't be something you'd have in a VW. You'd just have the one bed, which would usually be a double, wouldn't it, at the back?
Yeah, or another one in the pop top.
Oh yeah, you can get one at the top of the van as well, like on the fully converted ones. So I'll tell you my experience of van life, Sean will tell you his, and then we'll kind of go from there if we'd do it again, blah blah blah. My experience, I personally really loved it. The first night I wasn't too happy and I was sitting on that bed, Sean was sitting on this bed having his tea, and I looked at him and I was just like, what the fuck have we done? Because we had 2 pups sitting there looking bored as fuck. It was pouring down outside, they couldn't go out, they had this tiny little space, and I just thought, this week is going to be a disaster. And I really was like, oh god. And I think you were looking at us like, fuck. It was like not great. But after that first night, I feel like we got in a better routine, a better rhythm. We kind of obviously had better weather as well. We did have rain spells after that, but it wasn't too bad. We did have, like, you know, a lot of sunny days, and we kind of just got into a better routine of the van and living in it, and obviously, like, you know, a routine with the pups as well. So after that first night, I really enjoyed it. Near the end, I was feeling a little, I want more space. I miss, like, you know, going in the shower when I get out of bed. And even though technically in this van you could do that, that shower for me just is not adequate. It's tiny, not something that I feel like, you know, jumping in the shower I would feel refreshed there. So yeah, for me, I was missing home comforts at the end, but overall the van life I did really enjoy, and I enjoyed being on the road, I enjoyed travelling, and I enjoyed having like minimalistic things. I didn't feel like I missed a lot from home, which like shows me that like a lot of the things you have in your house you don't necessarily need. They're just like luxuries that you have. But that was my experience with van life. Sean will tell you his.
Alright, same here really. I think the best part about renting was you find out if you want one first and foremost, and then if you do like it, what you like and what you don't like. Like we said, I wouldn't have a shower in there. I think you can go a couple of days without a shower, and then you can find, like, it's my turn now.
Sorry.
Okay. Then you can find a campsite with a shower, you know, where we stopped off at 3, and some were modern, some were older, but they were fine, and that's all you need. And I just think it's a waste of space. I'd rather that was just open space, so you could just move, you can do things, because when this bed's set up as a bed, you can't do anything. You can't get out of there, you can't do anything. So I know you're in bed and you're asleep, you get out, you make it back into a seat, but
I'm dying to talk.
But in theory,
you're making some points I want to elaborate on.
Well, so did you when I was. Yeah, but I'll let you have your bit.
Okay, I'm
You've
sorry.
had your bit.
I'm
might as
sorry.
well go. And like, obviously you make the bed. You didn't put it back to a seat straight away, do you? You lounge about, you do what you want. So for me, that just didn't work. Plus as well, but this is like probably like one of the best fans you can get, because they're like, well, they're expensive to buy anyway. With all the stuff you've got, you've got a kitchen really, and it's spot on. But it was just the moving about. Obviously, I think that is van life, which I have realised. It's cramped. If you're stuck in the van, it's cramped. But I did like it, and when we got into the rhythm and just got used to doing things and that, it was a lot better.
I think
we've learned what. Well, like I said, the transport one would be alright for me, I think, because. You've just got that little kitchen, the pop top, and for the dogs, because that was a big problem here actually. Dogs couldn't reach. The dogs couldn't.
much I want to say.
The dogs couldn't go on that bed because it's just far too high. It's stupid. Luna did try and get on, she couldn't, and if she fell back and hit her head, you know, that could have been it. So.
And at the night as well, I was sleeping on this double bed with them, and Henry, because Sean was in the king size bed, and Henry was like getting up in the night like, Dad, why can't I come with you? And it was so heartbreaking, because they're not in the house, they snuggle up in the bed with us, and he really wanted to come and snuggle with you, and he couldn't. He kept like getting up and looking like, Dad. It was so cute.
That's what he does in the home really, when he's at home. So.
But we wouldn't want to let them up because it is so high. If they fell off, and it's so cramped, if they hit the head, it would have been.
But I think it would be ideal for 2 people, 3 or 4 maybe. It'd be a bit cramped, but you know, like if maybe 2 there, 2 here, I think it would be alright that. But I think I've realised you don't like live in the van.
No.
You know what I mean? You don't live in the van. You like do what you need to do in the van, don't you?
And go out and
then
about.
you go out. Which I didn't really think about, to be honest, like, but...
But I think even in the evening, this van has a little telly here, which we could watch Netflix and that on, but it had no aerial. So what we were doing is making this bed, the double bed, from like, more or less when we decided we were coming in for the night, we'd make it up. We would all snuggle on here, and then as we went to sleep, Sean would go into the king size one, and I'd stay here with the pups, just to give them more room. And I think in an evening, that was quite quite snuggly and nice, and it was a good like little setup then. But then in the morning, you were just like, I've got no fucking space. Like, I need you to get out. I need to like sort the van out, because you literally had the tiny space between the kitchen and the shower. And I think that's a huge thing for us with this van is, like Sean said, but I like to elaborate, we really wouldn't want a shower. And I know people think that's a luxury. It's amazing to have a shower in the van, which it is. But I think if you're doing van life, you kind of expect not to have one, and you would use the ones that you have at the facilities where you park up. If you're doing wildlife camping, you can go a few days without a shower, and then you can book into somewhere and have your shower, because they're not usually that expensive, the places.
Plus, it's really, and I know people do it, but in England you're not meant to
Wild camp.
wild camp.
Well, in Scotland you can.
You can, but like, and our people probably do it anyway, whatever they do, you know. But like, and for me really, I didn't even try getting a shower because it's that small.
And there's a toilet in there.
It's low down, and you can't hardly do anything. Like, you'd need it, and that's just what I realised. Like, it's a bit annoying. Like, you'd have to take the toilet out, have a bit of space to just move around, which is a faff on, and it's just it's really tight and small, which it's going to be. It's a van, but like, that's what I didn't realise. And for me, I would have just thought, nah, get rid of the shower. And I think if they got rid of the shower, it would be like the perfect van for me, because then you could have another seat all the way up to the bed, fold that away if you needed to, and you could just use the kitchen more. And
freely.
That would be like probably the best van. But if you want a shower, you want a shower. And it did sell it, the shower, because we're like, oh, it's got a shower, you know what I mean? But come to use it, it just wasn't working, you know. Rather, I just went to the centre and had a shower.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've learned from this first van life week is organisation is key. And I'm not an organised person. Sean is luckily more organised than me, and he, you know, was a lot more organised than me, but I'm not like normally an organised person. So for me it was like everything, I feel like if you have your own van, you've got to be organised. Everything's got to have its place. You've got to have storage places for all your things, and I think it could work quite smoothly. But I think if you're like me and put everything everywhere, I lost my sunglasses for 3 days, didn't find them till we got back here. I was foaming about it because I had really hot days. So like, for me, I struggled a bit with the organisation of living in such a small space. And you know, and this van I would say has quite a lot of storage really. It has a lot of like...
It's got loads.
It's got loads.
It's got more than any other van probably.
Yeah, so you know, that was a me problem more than a van problem, but that's something I personally learned, that if we're going to do van life going forward, I need to get more organised, and in the van you've got to be organised. Things have got to have a place and they go in that place, which I don't think you struggled with as much, did you? Because you are quite organised.
And like...
What was your biggest lesson you learned from it? Just the space?
Probably like but like I was worried about like pulling up to a campsite and not knowing what to do in that. You know what I mean? Like pulling up and just like people like judging you, like, oh, look at them. Because people will probably know what they're doing there. But we met a couple of people that didn't know what they were doing, asking us things. And then like really, you just go to reception like a hotel, check in. They tell you your number of your pitch. You go there, you plug in your electric, you fill up your water tank, or just connect that up, whatever you've got, and you're away really. And then you've got that was another thing, learn where to put your waste water and stuff like that. But they give you a map, and it's simple, it's easy, it's not daunting, it's not horrible, it's fine.
And I think one thing I had said, like pre-booking where we were going to go, because we went to Scotland for most of our trip, well, all of our trip really was in Scotland, and we had 3 campsites, 2 nights, 1 night. And prior to going, I had said to Sean, I'm not staying at a campsite more than 1 night. I want to be in like 5 different campsites. And he was like, I'm not sure. He was like, do you not want to stay 2? And in the end I was just like, do what you want. Thank God we listened, because the places where you actually go like for 1 night, like the last venue we went 1 night and you literally went there just to stay over. We didn't get to like do anything there. Where the ones we went 2 night we actually settled in, we got our pitch setted. The day at Loch Lomond I thought was amazing. We had a full day at Loch Lomond. We went on a proper adventure with the pups and I loved that day. I thought it was really nice. The van was set up when we got back. We had tea. Like, I loved that day. That was proper van life day to me, because we were somewhere we could explore that area. We'll come back, we'll cook tea, and I just loved it so much, which for me was like a big thing. I really liked that day. So I think I learned going forward, if we're to get our own van, which we really do want to do, I think, like Sean said, we're like, if we're having a week away in the van, we know go maybe 1 or 2 places close by, so you can settle in. And I know van life is all about exploring, but we're never going to be like full-time van life people on the road. We're only ever going to do it like as holidays when you're off work or when we can. And I feel like what works better to actually get to see that area is going somewhere for a longer period of time, which I definitely learned, which I think you knew but I didn't really learn.
So I just knew like setting up and packing away.
I didn't think of it like that really. And do you want to talk a bit about driving the van?
Yeah, like obviously driving a van was alright. I think reverse camera is a must in a van. Whether you can, if you've got a smaller van, you can see out the back, or if you've got a one that you can't see out the back. I just think they're needed. I've never had a car with one, but just a camera and a van I would say definitely have.
But I think that really sums up the van life experience. We did like it, we would do it again. We've learned what we want in a van that we would buy. I think what we've decided now is we're going to hire a VW.
Yeah.
One of the ones that we want. Is that a transporter?
Aye.
Yeah, because it's very different to this. You won't have the shower. You will have, I think you'll have the same space in here, if not a bit more, because this has got the shower.
It's actually tiny really when you think of it compared to this.
What, the floor space though, would you say?
Well, everything, it's smaller.
Did you stand up in it?
No, you need the roof up.
Aye.
No. It's a much smaller van, but I'd rather drive one of them, you know, especially because we haven't got room to park one of these really, like on the drive and that. I think it would even stick out your drive, one like this. It's just, there's people park these in streets and they're always like fill the street doing that, and I wouldn't really want that. I'd want a smaller van to park on the drive. And
yeah, I think even though when we spoke about having a van previously, we've never really wanted one of these vans.
Plus these, I've seen one of these done out, but it's the VW one. I think it's a Crafter or something, and I'm sure it was like 75 grand. So yeah, I think this van, like brand new, well not brand new, but like if like the bloke wanted to sell it, I think you get 50 plus. I just think like it's what, 64 plates, I think, 2014, but 7 years old.
How many miles did it done?
80,000, and it's like they're just worth a fortune now. So you'd get, I mean, you might get 40 or 50, I think, easily, to be honest.
We never wanted one of these, but
I think these are more hardcore people that live in the van more. You know, they need more, they want more, and they'd probably live in the van. We wouldn't really want that, because I'd probably use the van, like a little VW Transporter, or even a Ford, the same size Ford. I think they're alright. I think it's a Ford Transit, like like what the woman's got over the road.
Yeah.
You can use that as a van if you go to B&Q and that. So I'd use it for things like that as well. You know.
Yeah.
So
I think overall, van life is for us with adaptations to what we want. You know, no shower, more space. Well, bit more space, but whether you'd get that. That's why we need to hire a VW.
But this one as well didn't work with the dogs because
the bed was too high at the back.
There's not much here for them. The bed's too high, and if you had the VW one, the bed would be lower.
So they could get on and off
they could jump
the bed
in and out the van, because it's hard to even get out. This van's high up.
Yeah.
And the struggle. Luna can't go.
Luna was just standing there like, man, lift the bum.
Luna needs a lift up. But the transporter one, even the little transit one, you could jump up there and it could jump up on the bed.
Yeah.
And that would be a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. So I think overall we've definitely learned a lot from this first experience and know what we do and don't want. And I think the next step forward is to hire a VW and test that out, because they are a big investment. They're a lot of money, and if we're going to buy one we need to be sure that it's what we want. So I think next time Sean gets a bit of time off work, I've already been looking at where we're going to go, so crack on, find your dates.
But that's been good though, because I've just slept up there, had my space, and she's been down here.
Yeah.
We've had enough room, you know. It has been good.
I actually did, like, apart from the first night, but looking back on it, I actually did, like, love it. And you know what it made me realise as well? Like, the luxuries you have in the house you don't need. Like, we've dealt fine with a lot of the stuff, without a lot of stuff in the house, and I just think, like, I buy a lot of shit that I don't need. But I probably do need it at the time, because I'm like, well, I need that. But when you have a house you need more stuff, don't you? But I think, yeah, I do like the simple kind of just getting in a van and going. I do love that a lot. So yeah, this was our first van trip to our life. This is how we felt. This is what our experience was.
About, really.
We probably did. No, we didn't. We loved it. I loved it. I really did. I thought it was cosy, it was compact, I had everything I wanted and needed in the van, and I think it's taught me a lot, and I think it's definitely taught us what I would and wouldn't want. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would do it again. I really would. I think you always just think the negatives, don't you? You're like, oh, this was horrible and I needed this and I didn't have this space. But overall, looking back, I really did enjoy it. The first night I didn't. I thought, what the fuck have we done? But after that, I think we managed it quite well. A few bits that were annoying and stuff, but That's it. We're gonna go.
That's that.
Goodbye from the van. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.